Bhattacharya is an IP strategist, one of the leading ones recognized globally, and he holds an LLB and a PhD in environmental science from IIT Kharagpur, and is a registered patent agent and certified privacy lead assessor. He's also a member of the FICCI India US Working Group on IPR and regularly speaks at conferences and contributes extensively to national and international journals. He is particularly passionate about promoting IP awareness, and we're very, very glad that he's joining here today, especially to take a post lunch session to keep all of us occupied. So, Dr. Bhattacharya, the stage is yours. Please.
Good afternoon and thank you. Uh, some of you have threatened me that I take a nap of 45 minutes. Somebody said it's so difficult post attending a post lunch session. Now I am really worried what I am going to do. Anyway, I don't want to stand in between your nap and you. So, nevertheless, uh, today's topic is strategy, and I'll not spend time on IP per se, but the strategic part of it. Let me read out one. So, Bill Gates, while addressing one of the session, he said, "IP is no longer simply legal department's problem. CEOs must now be able to formulate strategies that capitalize on and maximize the value of their company's intellectual property assets to drive growth, innovation, cooperative relationship, and with the other companies." So it is none other than Bill Gates who believes that the strategy is not part of primarily legal department's work. It is the CEOs must leverage IP. So what I'll do, I'll start with two examples. Everybody have heard of Dyson? Why? Why means why do you like Dyson? Huh? Yes, that's the perception, and that is a strategically done creating the perception amongst the mind of the consumer. So now execution at granular level, what they have done. I'll give you two completely 360-degree apart examples. They filed hundreds of patents at the early stage. They blocked the core technology, which is called cyclonic separation and airflow, and then they have a peripheral protection around that technology. They were very aggressive in enforcing their IP. Then they took up some of those high impact litigation, and that was done intentionally, deliberately, as a strategically. That so what we learn from Dyson: build perception, technology, and the brand. Go to any shop and ask them the kind of narration they will give for Dyson. You will not find anywhere. IP is not filing for them, it was their enforcement. And they took IP, it's not as an individual patent. They enforce their trademark, they enforce their design, and they also enforce their patent, and they earn huge, humongous amount on some of the damages they got in the litigation process. Litigation is a strategic signaling, not just legal defense for them. So, in simple term, what Dyson ensured that innovation was seen as special, not interchangeable, means you cannot go and ask for an alternative cheap product in the market. You will go and ask for Dyson. Now, what is strategy? And I'll come to the next, the example next after this slide. What is strategy? Strategy means simple one thing: where to play and how to win. Forget anything. There is nothing beyond it. And you have choices. There are many choices. You have to select one. That's your strategy. That making your choice. For why? It's because choices, where to play and how to win. And where to play, here is the arena you or the playground you choose to play. It could be the market, it could be the consumer segment. And why I'm saying the technology space, the geography, problem you decide to focus on, all your IP would also, there has to be some kind of relationship of your IP, creating IP with your where you want to play, your arena. And how to win, the how you create, define the advantage you build. That is how to win. Now come to a completely different, altogether different strategy of a company called Zoho, an Indian company. We are proud of the Zoho. It has taken head on to Microsoft, head on to Salesforce, Oracle, everything, the kind of product offerings they have. Fantastic. So they chose trade secret over patents. And what they have done, they have very, very tight controls on the source code. They have strong employment contract, minimal public disclosure of their architecture. And what is the startup level lessons from them? Patents are not mandatory for every startup. Trade secret works when the speed of innovation is very high. You know, uh, any computer related innovation, that shelf life is not more than 2 years. Every 3 months you develop, you improve your product. Culture supports confidentiality. Again, they build that culture. And IP strategy must align with technology type, enforcement, reality, and capital strategy. So now we have two different, altogether different examples. Both wanted to have a niche in the market, and for to achieve that niche, they had their own strategy. And what is strategy? Where to play, how to win. So, and they enforced it, and they could achieve it. Sorry. And why it is becoming more and more important nowadays? Because of the intangible asset, percentage of the intangible asset. Look at the numbers. Some of the companies, Apple, 90% of the valuation is your intangible assets. So it's about 80% of the corporate value in today's world is intangible. So therefore, managing this intangible asset is very, very essential, and you need to have strategy for that. Why IP matters for startups? Now there is a component of startups, IP strategy for startups. IP, as one of the speakers, Kavi, mentioned, we need to use law as a tool, not as a what. So IP is not legal formality. It is all about it is a business tool. You have to leverage that business tool to create value. Startups are idea rich, but of course, obviously they are asset poor. So what IP does? IP converts the ideas into the asset, the business asset. Investor, they don't invest in a company, they invest in a protected advantage. Why investor will invest? Unless they see their wherever their money they are putting in or investing, it is protected. So it is a protected advantage. Strong IP, I'm saying it is not IP, I'm saying strong IP. I'll come to that. Strong IP improves valuation, reduces competitive risk, enables licensing and partnership. In I'll come to that. This strengthen exit outcomes. Now, leveraging IP as a bouquet. IP is not one right; it is a multiple right, and we need to leverage this multiple right efficiently. Now, for patent, as all of you know, technology and process, code innovation, startup relevance is the core. You immediately protect your core innovation. Don't allow other your competitor to protect the core innovation. Trademark, brand identity, and for you, what is the purpose? It is the market trust, because trademark connects the the customer to the source and origin of the product. So you create the market trust. Then software content, product expression, trade secret, speed and advantage designs, consumer differentiation for the startup. The Before I come to the strategy again, the biggest IP myth among the startup, with whomever I speak, they consider, and I think Kavi mentioned also, or one of the speakers mentioned, that it is, they consider it as a capital cost, not as an investment. तो दुखता है ना, because उस समय पैसा बहुत कम होता है, so everything, but IP can't wait. So till you generate the revenue, we'll file later when we raise the funds. These are the some of the thoughts collated from some of the discussion that I had with some of the startup or some of the entrepreneurs. हमारे पास तो NDA है, what is the problem? Patents are only for big companies, हमें छोड़ दो, हमें बख्श दो, patents तो बड़े companies का है, उनके पास पैसा है. So IP decision made early and often, and not often, and it's always irreversible. So now you have, what is the, as I said again, I'm coming back, strategy means where to play and how to win. So how to win is, you have multiple choices. You have to select, that the selection of choice is the strategy. To you have, as a startup, you have ideas. So IP, what IP does, IP helps that ideas to convert into your business assets. And how you will do, how you will manage those innovation? By effective IP strategies. And what is the effective IP strategies? It is when IP strategy and business strategy talk to each other. So I'm trying to create a link between the, what is the effective IP, what is the strong IP, how you manage innovation. Effective IP protection and building IP portfolio developed on purpose. Without, for the sake of the creating IP, don't create IP. For each IP, there has to be a case, there has to be a purpose. It could be valuation, increase the valuation. It could be protecting the core innovation. It could be cross licensing also. It could be anything, but there has to be some strategy. And it is not odd. And leveraging the IP. So only creating IP would not suffice the purpose. The strategy also includes how you leverage the IP. Now, as we evolve, the way we think about IP is also changing. Conventional thought process is you exclude others. That was the old school of thought. You exclude others. But now it is the sharing. It could be a field of use, which is the non-core. You can license it, or if you find any complementary area where you can support, you create IP and then cross license it. So IP strategy versus IP filing. Filing is not equal to strategy. Now, what IP strategy does? Why to protect? So, as Kavi mentioned, IP, any law when used as a tool becomes useful. So, and always you need to use it as how, WH. So, IP strategy also answers all the WH questions, and these WH questions would help you to find out your, when you are at the crossroad, it will help you to find the which deliberate choice I'll make. Why to protect? Create a business case. First, why should I protect my IP? I have developed, I have a fermentation process, but do I need to spend money on that? What I'll achieve from that if I protect it? Uh, uh, what to protect? You have plethora of items, but what to protect? When to protect? I have given you the Zoho example. So do I need to protect or rely on the trade secret? That your strategy, your business strategy would help you to answer this question. Where to protect? Should I be in India or should I go overseas? What is my business plan? Do you want to collaborate with some of those international multinational company in future? Based on your business strategy, you need to find out where to protect. How does it support my business goal? And the last question, but not the least, how it is going to support. And then if you answer these all WH questions, then you get the answer, the purpose of creating IP. Otherwise, you will not be able to get the purpose, define the purpose of creating the IP. So it's like a river. IP is something, it is always flowing. It has its life cycle. And every stage you have to have some kind of strategy involved in it. Early stage, when IP is priority, you have to spend money. You don't have any choice. At least file provisional application, design application. If you have any product which has some aesthetic view, file a design application, because in early stage startup has to go to investor. You have to have, as I said, investor invest on your protected advantage. They don't invest in your science at all. They see whether it has a protection, their whatever advantage you are bringing in by your technology has a protection or not. Idea, when you start even this early stage, whether all the confidentiality agreement, ownership clarity, who, whether I have engagement with some of the inventors, what is whether you have the license to use that invention, everything you need to do that. That's the early stage, early traction, when your you could see your experiments are successful. Then you are about to file the application, you must go for analytics. You don't need to, it's not wise to reinvent the wheel, or you must check the depth of the water before you get into the river. So analytics, don't spend money, spend provisional application, file provisional application, design, trademark. It is not very costly. Scale up. Now you have crossed the most of the river. You know, you can see you are at the end of the tunnel. You could see the products, portfolio building, global filing, and every stage you have to answer this. Why to protect? Even if you are going global, you ask why to go global? Why to file application in US, not in Korea? And then growth stage, licensing, enforcement, readiness. That's very important. As I said, creating IP is not end of the story. The story ends when you leverage your IP. That's the most important part, leveraging the IP. An exit, IP valuation. IP valuation is very essential. Uh, when you go and sell your house and go and buy your house, what you do? You have some standard cost. I'm going to sell my house. This would cost about 80 lakhs or 1.5 crore. So you don't go with some empty hands. You should have some figures. Now, process and capturing IP assets. What Anindo keeps on doing at T Hub, the uh, the IP clinics. Patents strategic should be always strategic, not defensive. You should have a good patent strategy. And what is the good patent strategy? Your patent should differentiate the core of your innovation, what you are doing, covers future version. As a patent attorney or as an entrepreneur, you have to, and you have no other choice but to visualize the future. 3 years down your IP becomes a tool, lethal tool. Patent will become a lethal tool only after 3 to 5 years. How the technology landscape is going to change in next 3 to 5 years, whether my innovation will remain effective, lethal even up to 3 to 5 years, and anticipate competitors' workaround. So whether my patent is capable even or remain strong even after 3 to 5 years. Now, process of capturing IP asset, SOPs for identifying IP within the business. So the first thing, when you are an entrepreneur, you have an entrepreneurial initiative, you are a tech company, you must do an IP audit. What are the innovations you have in your company? Ideation session with inventors, sales, marketing team, design team. It is for the specialist sales and marketing teams for the seed companies. Seed companies may seeds people, the farmers buy the seed, go by the seed's name. They don't go by the technology. So at times you need to have ideation session with the marketing people as well. IP audit, due diligence. What is due diligence? You must check whether you have proper lab book, authenticated lab book. Tomorrow in litigation discovery process, this could be questioned. Whether you have all the licenses or all the assignment from the inventors, whether you have NDAs in place, do due diligence. Compliance check, whether you are complied with some of the laws. If you are a biotech company, whether you are complied with biodiversity law, you have taken NBA permission, you have taken foreign filing license, non-disclosure agreement with employees and your vendors, restricted access to information, and pre-filing analytics. These are the elements in your strategic activity. So whatever you do, these are the bare minimum thing. When you have done the WH questions, all the WH questions you have responded, then you have come to a conclusion, yes, I am doing this for this reason. Then you have to ask, you have to cross check whatever I have mentioned here. Then developing an innovation map and branding strategy. Branding is very important, and branding strategy is very important. I'll show you why branding strategy is more important, especially for the trademark. So short-term, long-term commercial strategy, it is a part of WH question. Whenever you ask WH question, it will come as an answer, it will come. Licensing income, whether you are looking at licensing income or not. Qualcomm earns more money in royalty than in selling the products. They're in billions. They are earning from licenses and royalties in billions. Cross licensing, technology transfer, strategic alliance, spin off, and going global, where competitors are located, the market for the invention, ease of copying, IP budget, enforceability, licensing possibilities, possible future of the technology. If you have developed some electronics gadget, you don't go and protect in Bangladesh or Indonesia. Rather, if you have some agricultural product, you should go and protect your invention in Bangladesh and in Indonesia. So branding strategy. Now we spoke about in general. Let us come to the branding. We spoke about, even partially touched upon patent also, strong patents. So branding is it differs. If you, legally speaking, it is a name, it is a mark, it is a logo, shape of the good. All the definition of the trademark will come. For CFO, it is an asset. CFO would not consider it is a mark. CFO would consider this is an asset. For marketing team, it is a promise. MACD or be it any company, for them it is a promise. For a consumer, a set of emotion. Having an iPhone is a set of emotion. Having a Mercedes Benz is a set of emotion and ideas which they associate with the company. I'm not going into this fanciful mark. Always think of some fanciful mark. Generic term don't use for trademark. Little better is descriptive. Even it's very difficult to get nowadays. Suggestive mark. Arbitrary mark. Think of arbitrary. Google, Apple for a phone. There is no link. Amazon, there is no link. Fanciful mark. Exxon, Nike, Google. Think of such mark. And if you don't enforce your mark, what would happen, you know? This would happen. You will become RIP. Aspirin was a product, was a brand. Take two and call me in the afterlife. Kerosene. We say kerosene. It has become a generic term, but it was a brand. Escalator. Somebody has created will rise again. Escalator was a brand. Nylon, Lycra, these are brands. But then Xerox, the best example. सबसे अच्छा मुझे कैलकाटा में I see everywhere Xerox by Canon. Xerox by Canon, Calcutta. I know I haven't seen this thing anywhere in any part of India. Xerox by Canon. Mane Xerox means photocopy by Canon. And Canon used to be a very good machine in terms of the photocopying. So I'll not go into this. Going global. This is very important part in the IP strategy. So it all depends on couple of factors. Where your competitors are located. When you take a strategic call, some of those inclusive examples I have given, where your competitors are located, where is the market. So people, why people file in US and Europe? Because of the size of the market. So there is, if you know I have to sell in US, then there is a no-brainer though. But if you have to select some of the countries like Korea, Japan, so then you have to find out whether you have a market or not. Is it easy to copy? If it is easy to copy, then there is more reason to protect your IP. Your IP budget. IP is very costly. You can't, if you want to file overseas application, you have to spend uh, 5 to 10 lakhs rupees for each application at least. So some of the countries it would cost more, some of the countries it would cost less. Average 7 to 10 lakhs minimum in nowadays with enforceability. Now China mein, you know you have budget constraint. So do you really want to go to China and enforce your right? You will not be able to do it. So maybe you would like to give a pass. But if it is a big company, then yes, they don't have any scarcity of the fund. They will go and file in China. For you, it has to be strategic as per your business strategy, availability of fund, and so for patents we have PCT. For trademark we have Madrid protocol. So these two things are like a single window system. It, it is PCT, Patent Cooperation Treaty, or Madrid. These are not patent or trademark granting authority, but they make your life, these treaties make your life simple, reduces cost, give some time frame, extended time frame to protect your IP. As an example, if you file a PCT application, it is deemed to have been filed in 154. I think it is now 154 countries. So, but if you don't actually take your invention to those 154 countries in the national phase, your invention, you will lose the right. But just filing PCT, you will have provisional protection. You get 30 months time to protect, to find out who is the potential licensee. You know, you file a PCT, and from the 30 months from the first priority, you have time to find out your investor, your potential licensee. So file a PCT application. The strategic reason could be, let me explore the market. Let me explore the possibility of funding. Let me find out which is my jurisdiction. Should I go to China? Should I go to US or Singapore or Malaysia? So then global publication in PCT, the publication becomes global. So everybody, there are many scouts. They keep on checking the PCT publication. And if they find something is of their choice or their significance, they will reach out to you. And patentability report, you get a chance to amend the claims. You cannot amend the claims easily at the national phase. So when you file PCT, it is called international phase, and after 30 months, within 30 months, you have to file, go to individual country. This is called national phase. So a similar kind of treaty is Madrid, that is for trademark. Then there is patent prosecution highway. Now I'm talking about the strategy. You suppose your strategic need is to get a grant at early stage. So what you would do as a strategic input, rely on PPH. You file an expedited application in US, which is granted within 1 year, and with US grant, you go to many countries like Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Indonesia, Canada. There are many countries where they will not even examine your case. they will grant the US granted claim. So what what it does, you pay $2,000 extra as an official fee, 2 years PTO, 2,000 for a small entity, $4,000 for a large entity, but you save lot of cost, the prosecution cost in all those different countries, and you get early patent within 1.5 year. You have 5 6 patents. If that is your strategic need, you follow this strategy. So everything, as a lawyer, what is our duty? Our duty is to help you, facilitate you, give you direction, but strategy has to come from you, what you want. So these are the PPH, patent prosecution highway, where examination report of one country will be considered by the other PPH signatory, and they will rely on it. Fortify the protection by contract and trade secret. As Zoho example, you have seen how important, how strategic it is to leverage the trade secret. At times, trade secret is much more lethal than patents. So you have to, again, it is your strategic need which would determine whether you will go with trade secret. Anindo has written a very nice chapter on trade secret. You should read that book. uh, Provides a business with competitive advantage, is treated in a way that can reasonably be expected to prevent the public or competitor from learning about it. So you have to qualify as a trade secret, you have to take certain measure. You cannot keep your trade secret open on the table. It has to be, it has to be confidentially. You have to keep it confidential. You have to take all necessary measure. But in India, we do not have a trade secret law per se. It is governed by other law like law of contract. Again, strategy comes. You have a huge portfolio. Time to time, you need to check whether these are the dead items. Should I discontinue? So, strategic abandonment would help you to save lot of money. There is, any granted patent would cost you as when you need to pay renewal fee, annuity. So therefore, if your strategy says, your business strategy says this invention, this technology, this IP uh, is no more helping me or helping my company anymore, abandon it. Don't carry. Otherwise, you will be spending a lot of money on that. So, power of IP. Kodak sold 1100 patents at 525 million to Apple, Google, and Facebook. Google bought Motorola Mobility, 17,000 patent at $12 billion. Microsoft acquired 800 patent from AOL, 1 billion. Qualcomm earned 6.6 billion in patent license revenues every year. So again, for a company, your strategy determine whether I am into cross licensing, I am into code innovation, I am into, I'll take licenses from others and practice. That could be your strategy. You don't file any patent application, but your business strategy says, uh, I'm not going to, I'm my niche should be not a very high end technology, low end technology where I can use the expired patent. That could be your strategy. You don't file anything, you don't file any application. So there are some examples. And final thoughts, pre-filing strategies and patentability search, TM availability search. Most important, pre-filing strategies means answering all those WH questions which I have shared with you in my previous slide. File internationally when it is strategically important. For the sake of filing, don't file. Don't pay to government, don't pay to the lawyers. You pay when it is important to you. File direct national application when you are filing in a couple of countries. So PCT, in a thumb rule, if you look at, if you are filing more than 3 application, at times PCT helps you in reducing the cost. But if you're filing 1 or 2 application, you can go directly and file in those countries. Sorry. Strategize to minimize the cost. File in a few countries as possible. US PPH when available to expedite prosecution. And most importantly, let IP and business strategies talk to each other and create IP on purpose. Without purpose, don't create any IP. So again, coming back to my the first slide, what I showed you, where to play and how to win. Where to play is the arena. You define your arena. Who will be your customer base? What kind of technology you will have? Whether it will be niche technology or you will be, and based on those, you can decide your IP strategy. And if you are creating like Apple, they have to have patents. If you're creating like Dyson, like Mercedes Benz, you have to have technology, you have to have IP, you have to spend, you have to allocate huge money on IP. Rather, if you are in a fast moving innovation like computer science, or which is very easy to copy like any nutraceutical, you can go for trade secret. I don't think this is, the last two may not be very relevant for you here, but now let us make it, whatever remaining time we have, let us make it interactive, have questions, let us discuss, let us find out something actionable item from here. Hmm? Okay. O- Only one question. That is the strategy for this question. Huh.
So in saving like transfer or through generic process also you can follow the regulations.
I didn't get.
Yeah, so this is related to the IP transfer. So IP transfer should happen only to the right in that IP is transferred or the
Yes.
ownership is
Yes.
transferred. Um, doesn't it cover in a generic clause like I mean something like in a bigger term where exclusively done or not competent and that implies that IP is transferred.
It is an agreement between two parties. So whatever is in your mind, if you want to make it exclusive, write it down. Everything has to be written.
So generic clause doesn't work for IP transfer.
It's not advisable. I think Venkat Garu would be.
There is something like assignment and licensing. But normal terms, if you write that is an industry agreement between two parties. But when you truly assign, it should be registered with the patent office or trademark office. Like sale deed, what you do in the register office. That is the official terms. When you are assigning, you are completely relinquishing your rights. When you are giving a license, you may be giving a particular period or particular time, a particular area, like all these like calls and all. You call it as a franchise agreement. If you want effective transfer, then it has to be registered with the respective offices. Then you become a true. And it does a general agreement to write industry between the parties that is only binding to the extent which works. Any litigation happens, then contract your obligations.
Even if you register it, but all those clauses has to be mentioned there. Even all the terms and condition, because whatever you submit to patent office, they will accept. But when time comes for implementation, enforcing the assignment, he has rightly said, I think I should have told even in there, license is different, assignment is different. Assignment मतलब बेच दिया, मेरा पास कुछ नहीं रहा. License मतलब renting. Suppose renting and selling a house. So जो भी it has to be all terms and conditions, because patent office में go and register, they will register it. But you will have difficulty if all the terms and conditions are not written, articulated in the deed of assignment.
Thank you. And one more question. So, copyright is the default for the user, right? First free.
Ideally.
And they have to write it to someone to transfer it.
No. The moment you create your expression of an idea, the moment it is expressed on a piece of paper or any, you create the copyright. The copyright is vested on you. Now, what is your question?
Yeah. So, for someone else to really sell this product, which was expressed by someone else, they need an explicit writing that this person is writing to that entity or person.
Again, if you want to sell what he said, it is assignment. You are assigning, you are relinquishing your right, you are assigning to him. So you have to, there has to be an agreement, and that agreement has to be registered.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Aninda, for giving me this opportunity.
We'll take the question offline. We're so sorry we're running out of time. I thank you, Dr. Bhattacharya, for this amazing talk. It was really helpful. We request Professor Sarkar to give a small memento to Dr. Goutam.